It all comes down to this. Fluff saying it, you're probably thinking it, and it's true. It's our deciding Game 5, the last game of the Dota 2 Asia Championships American Qualifier. Not many people would have given anyone except for Cloud9 a chance. They did change their roster, but No-Tail, as well as Misery, fantastically talented players, respected pretty much universally throughout the professional scene. They joined this new Cloud9 roster, and they looked damn convincing yesterday. Today, not so much. In terms of actual games played, Fire actually leading 2-1, but for Cloud9, they have the winner's bracket advantage, which makes it 2-2, so it comes down to a deciding Game 5. This last game, absolute madness. Cloud9 doing some unusual stuff with their drafts, and it just has not worked out for them quite as well as it did in previous days. And, well, with that said, we're going to start to break down this draft, and for that, nobody better than Merlini to bring in. Hey, Ben, we're going to see a Juggernaut. Finally gets through the draft.
Steal the Lion. They stole the Wisp in game number 2, and in game number 4, they will steal the Lion. I think that Lion was a pretty big deal, too. Like, on top of having to deal with the RPs and the Chronos, he got hexed and impaled afterwards.
Yeah, just constant, reliable lockdown. And it's also just been such a good hero for Fogged. We've seen his Earthshaker was quite good today. Sand King still out there. Those have probably been the big three. And we'll see what he has in what TC has in store for him, I should say, as this draft moves along. But if you're just joining us, guys, this is a qualifier for a $1.4 million prize pool tournament and rising. Most calling it at this point a mini international. So maybe the biggest event of the year before TI5 comes around in 2015. And to the extent that's true, well, there's a lot of interesting stuff to look forward to. So now the Earthshaker comes out. They will secure that defensive support for Fogged rather early in the draft.
I feel like the Batrider pick has been really important for Fire, too, just because IX Mike's been such a nuisance on that hero. And he's been setting up ganks, he's been scouting out Roshan, and we all know how much Cloud9 loves the Roshan. And what else does IX Mike play? He usually plays, Spearbreaker, Centaur, and Batrider, I say are his main three.
Yeah, the Batrider has been kind of the go-to this series, it feels like. But not going to get at this. It also seems to be the hero that he keeps his economy up with by far the best. Like some of those other heroes, very easy to fall behind in terms of farm, and Mike does tend to die a bit more frequently than other offlaners. But with the Bat, it's first of all very difficult to kill, and then secondly good at coming back even if you do die a bit. Spearbreaker will be banned though. Cloud9 going to remove an IX Mike staple. Fire going to ban out the Zeus. The other big support that's been super popular as of late. You've seen the Zeus a lot, the Lion a lot. No Zeus this time around, though.
It's just so annoying as the Blink heroes, though, playing against the Zeus. Not only the Global Ultimate, but also the Static Field.
Yeah, very disruptive for the initiation. And Cloud9 are actually the ones who have that really good Blink initiation. So, Void banned out first phase. I don't know if we mentioned that, but we're not going to see Ush on that. It will be an Ush Juggernaut, almost certainly.
I'm surprised EE hasn't been taking the Void more. He loves that hero, or it seems that way.
This game, Fire had first pick, but I mean, I guess Cloud9 were worried that it would be a first overall pick Void. Clockwork now banned out. More offlaners being removed from the pool. It's a total of 4 big teamfight. Well, 3 teamfight controllers, 1 more of Ganker that has been removed.
Silencer still might be an option for Fire.
You think so? I
think it's just really good at countering the Initiate and protecting the Juggernaut. If you like Blink Hex, Silence, turn around and kill them. Let's see. Fada didn't... I mean, he had some pretty big plays on Invoker, but I feel like he could have made more. I guess it was really difficult because of the Global Silence, though. And he couldn't really mess with Void during the Chrono as much as I've seen someone like Black. Like, Black just owns Voids, especially if they don't get BKB early.
The Puck does make its appearance. Now, I saw Nahaz tweeted earlier today. Puck apparently has like a 35% win rate in this patch. And there's like a decent sample size. It's like 30, 40 games. Hero is not winning games, and he certainly has not been in this qualifier.
He's a comfort pick.
They don't really have the best heroes to shut down a Puck this time, though.
So much magic damage from Cloud9.
Ancient Apparition. Do you keep on going in this vein? What's the EE hero at this point?
Well, it's unclear what TC is going to play too. EE, Void would have been good for them. Void would have been meh for them. I guess maybe Anti-Mage? Morphling? Morphling's really good, actually.
Actually, yeah, Morphling is on the other side of that equation. He's been winning a lot of games. We have not seen him once in the American qualifiers.
5 seconds remaining.
Morphling... I'm trying to think of other heroes. Spectre is meh. I like Morphling the most personally.
Well, we've seen I think we saw the Spectre Jug matchup, and the Jug was just running all over the Spectre's jungle and team, and it was us playing it in that game as well. So, could be a bit of a risky pick to go for. Doom. More late game for Fire.
Turn to ban.
Pretty good lockdown for the puck, and also may heavily discourage that Morphling pick. If Cloud9 were thinking of it.
Well, there's not that many heroes good versus Doom. I guess if they really want to, they could go Wraith King. He's like, okay, I'm taking Omni Slash and Doom, but
then you have a Wraith King.
Yeah, it's not really what EE tends towards.
5 seconds remaining.
2. So, yeah, last pick for Cloud9 coming out. Actually, last ban coming out. First, probably a TC hero.
They actually removed the Magnus. So, it's generally been Ush on the Jug. I would assume it's IX Mike on the Doom.
Oh, they could
switch it up and put TC on the Jug.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the main adjustment if they did go for like a Magnus type hero. And Fire, just to be safe, no Terrorblade.
I still think Viper would be ridiculous on Fire's lineup. Viper plus Doom plus all this against all magic damage.
With the Witch Doctor heal, the Juggernaut healing ward.
Yeah, they have A, kind of, but still, magic resistance is so darn good. Even Anti-Mage? Nah.
Aha!
Ooh,
Lycan's interesting.
He got no changes in the latest patch, actually.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised he didn't get nerfed.
It seemed like his win rate was pretty high, at least when the top teams were running him. Like EG, I think we saw Vici run it a few times. There was one other team. I think LGD was also running it quite a bit with good success.
10 seconds remaining.
So Fire now, they have to lay their final pick on the table, and then we get underway with our deciding Game 5.
Not a Viper versus this. Lycan, I actually don't know how he matches up versus Juggernaut. Seems like it'd be like okay because he has a lot of physical damage that he can just right click during Blade Fury, and he has wolves to tank it up. But at the same time, they have like a Earthshaker and a Witch Doctor, just generally very good versus melee non-BKBs. I guess eventually he'll get BKBs, but if he gets a Necrobook, he gets echoed. If he doesn't, he gets Omni Slash or doomed.
A lot of ways to deal with him.
And they don't really have that much push either, so
Fire have okay D push, mainly from the Earthshaker. Witch Doctor not terrible, but they're not great at stopping the push. Always a bit.
I think it's all about fighting, though. I mean, with just a Lycan alone, no summons on their side, they're just looking to fight. I think it's more going to be like a game 1 sort of style, where they try and take control as much as possible.
Night Stalker. This hero. Day 1, I think we saw him first phase banned every single game in our first best of 3 ban. He's been first phase banned like half the games and ignored the other half. It's a very strange position for a hero to be in. And this time, he's a 5th pick.
Same as Venge, too. Venge completely ignored sometimes. Tidehunter also sometimes completely ignored. First phase banned. This patch has led to that sort of drafting?
I guess so. So looking at Night Stalker, he was buffed pretty heavily in this latest patch. Base attack damage up by 4, Crippling Fear mana cost from 90 to 50. Darkness sets the enemy vision to a maximum of 675 instead of reducing by 25%. It no longer pauses the day-night timer, and so you can feel free to use this thing whenever you feel like during the day without delaying your next long night cycle. And the duration is better at level 1, but it doesn't scale as well. But to make up for that, the cooldown's been reduced by 20 at level 1, all the way up to 40 at level 3. So overall, you got some pretty decent buffs.
I think the flat vision nerf, too, is a big deal. Now you can't... You used to be like, okay, well, I'm going to drop an Observer Ward in the fight because we can't see anything. But now it's 675 for observers, too, which is a big deal. Before it was 20%. Minus 20%, which is what, maybe like 1450-ish vision, 1540 vision, which is over double of what it is now for your nighttime wards.
This is a fearsome bunch. Night Stalker actually looking like kind of a midget next to the Doom, though. Doom is gigantic. It's a deciding game 5. It's a big match for both teams. Fire, still a relatively young roster with the current mixture, but a lot of pretty talented players and some established veterans. You've got Ush as kind of the hot young rising star. The other 4 have been around for ages, and beating Cloud9 in a best of 5 when they even have a 1-game advantage walking in would be an amazing accomplishment for them. And as for Cloud9, the second place curse normally only applies to them when they get to the LAN event, not before it. So they've brought in Big Daddy. Fnatic used to be the kings of the second place curse. Hopefully he brings the good luck with him. But for now, the game gets underway. We go into our deciding game 5. We'll introduce the teams. Cloud9 versus Fire. Winner take all, loser gets nothing. Misery on your Lion. Eternal Envy going to be playing the Lycan. Big Daddy No-Tail handling the Ancient Apparition. Fada going mid as the Puck, and to the offlane is Bone7 on the Bat. The underdogs on the Radiant. Fire, you've got Doom being handled by IX Mike, never afraid to talk a little smack. Fogged, he's been a playmaker on the Lion and the Earthshaker today, and he'll try to do it one last time. Fluff, your Witch Doctor. TC, gonna be taking the Blue Man, the Night Stalker, onto the field of battle. Going mid, it looks like, and that will leave Ush as the safe lane Jug. We saw him do a lot of work with this hero yesterday. So they're gonna camp out near this top rune. 4 heroes protecting this region. Fog did go for his boots first. He really likes it on like every support hero, and Fluff, happy to oblige, will take the lion's share of the spending.
I still haven't found like the main reason why teams pick Night Stalker often. Sometimes I think it's because of the nighttime vision. Sometimes I think it's just because of the amount of aggression that he puts out, and he limits the opposing farm by being an imposing threat on the map. Sometimes it's for the unobstructed vision.
Eternal Envy, he's got Chilling Touch and Howl. They're gonna Fissure block off too, and try to tickle Eternal Envy. This will not really result in much, just the bounty runes being snagged. Ush is like, well, I got the easy rune. Literally nobody there.
This game is all about the initiation, though, and I think the darkness is really important here. Blink Echo, Doom on a hero like Lycan before he shapeshifts.
Getting off your Omni Slash. Yeah.
All these are very, very important. And of course, on the opposite side, you don't want them getting off the lasso. You don't want them setting up with a Blink Hex or a Blink Coil Waning Rift into an AA ultimate. So I think that we might see that nighttime come into play here. Although they do have some vision with the wolves, also with the Icy Vortex too.
Mike really getting aggressive on Misery in this top lane. Slices him quite a few times. Fog did go for a fissure block in that lane to draw the aggro back. Now back to the well. He's going to mosey out towards mid, but Mike out really far with the howl damage.
One hit would have killed him.
Not quite enough to get the kill. That is living life on the edge. At the same time, look at the other offlane. Bone7 gets the bat. Maledict tossed out by Fluff, immediately forced to retreat out of here, though. The thing is, you can't really Blade Fury him, because there's always that Firefly to worry about. It looks like it's going to be a tough lane for the Witch Doctor. Bone really getting those stacks out. Fog tidying in the trees now. He's made his way towards mid. Perhaps looking for go on Fada, but not really a killable target right now. Only a level 2 Night Stalker. And IX Mike, after having already used up all his tangos, he's off to the woods. That top lane is just not doing it for him. So Bone7 will get aggressive here, continues to just beat into Fluff, still has no Voodoo Restoration. The Jug unable to do much to assist him.
Yes.
It feels like the best
Fog.
Bone7
I think he might get dove right here.
Chases on from Bone7, starting with the Napalm a bit. That's 2 charges, but they do bring in the Witch Doctor. Now it's Sticky Napalm going on to Fluff. I want to point out they did block off this camp to prevent any sort of double pulling shenanigans. And now it's Fluff's turn to get punished. Fog may even have to fissure to prevent this further chasing. No, I'll just run in and to smack him a few times. But this bat is creating a lot of space right now. 3 heroes occupied. Meanwhile, Mike couldn't really do anything top and had to abandon the lane entirely.
He's running out of mana fairly quickly, though.
That's true. Bottle still a couple hundred gold off. Maybe he can farm it with these camps. Rune already taken.
Oh, nice steal from Earthshaker.
Oh, he got the last hit. Fog did.
All 3 harpies.
Okay. I was taking a look at mid. Here comes your smoke. Misery's only level 2. And Mike is at full health. But he's going to try for a bit of a wraparound. With Chilling Touch, as well as how this will be a lot of right click, and if Mike stays out a bit too much farther, he'll go down. Misery gets the impale off. That's too far to dive. Good positioning by Mike dodging that gang.
No level 2 skill yet on Ancient Apparition. Probably Icy Vortex if he sees the opportunity. I doubt they can keep him. Actually, I guess they can keep him in place long enough for Cold Feet, but the stun's just very paltry at 1.25 seconds.
Yeah, Mike's just holding his, No Tail's just holding his points right now. Not really sure what he wants to go for.
Fogged is there. Can they actually get a block onto EE here?
Maybe just a tower deny. He comes in range. The fissure's unwound, and he's under the tower too. Then Mike gets the follow-up stun. He's in the corner. Who's going to be able to bring him down? They get off the enchant totem. Tower low, not dead just yet, and they can't quite get the kill. Now the turn onto Mike. The Hex is there. They need one more auto attack. Big Daddy's diving for it. No, he's not going to get it, and he's not going to get the tower, and it's denied. And meanwhile, TC runs down your Bat Rider mid. Fire come out hot of the gate. Already leading 2-0. Up 750 gold. Experience. Not an overwhelming lead, but definitely the momentum they're searching for.
Again, the big plays by Fogged. I mean, he has just been incredible on the support role.
It's like he's like a whole new man. Not to say Fog was a bad support player, but there weren't too many games where it's like, man, Fog was just dominating. But he's had a lot lately. Feels like part of it is the way they're just... Oh, Misery gonna suicide to the neutrals, I think, for a free fountain trip. Already spent his gold. Feels like it's partially because Fluff is willing to be such a martyr, you know, and just buy everything they need so you can get those boots to level 1. Just allows Fog to be in the right place at the right time more often. Wow, that's big, and perhaps even bigger is TC getting a kill like that early. He's gonna die Fada. He's got a point in the Crippling Fear. If he had one more Void, he would go for this, but it's not quite ready yet. Needs that bottle to come out. Tread's complete, though. Magic Stick online. This is when Night Stalker gets very difficult to deal with. The level 4 Void's about to come out, and that is like half of almost any hero's health at this stage.
Bone 7 was doing stacks. He did a triple stack, and not quite there at level 6, about halfway there to his Blink Dagger, but I don't really see anything else to work with. I guess there's one Satyr and Centaur camp up. Darkness looks like it just expired.
Just waiting on this level 7.
Oh, here they go, Fissure in mid.
They will jump him. They get off the Crippling Fear early. Can they bring him down before it's going to wear off? One more auto attack. He face shifts and then coils, goes forward like an inch. TC will break this, and in doing so will end up going down. So 1-for-1 exchange. Unfortunately, your Puck not getting the experience. It probably ends up a 2-for-1 here. Fog is grabbing a regen room, but Lycan's on the move. Fissure connects on 4, but Fog ain't running away from this one. Buys a few TP scrolls, tries to spend that unreliable gold. It does leave bottom empty, though.
Nice coil by Puck. Man, if he didn't have like those branches, I think he would have just died without the silence, and they would have just pieced out. It was big.
Definitely was. They're going to push through. Healing ward out, along with Fluff's level 1 heal, so basically they're constantly invincible. Uh-oh, Misery mid lane. TC couldn't get off the silence. He's just going to run him down with right clicks, I think. Oh, the extra Hex deters him. Might have died if he went for that. TC playing this one pretty safe. It can be very dangerous as Night Stalker. You go for like 1 or 2 tower dives, overextend, selling those heroes have like a Bracer or an Urn, they end up living. Poppy a Magic Stick and that they've just acquired, and then your next tower dive gets that much trickier. TC not wanting to take those risks. Yes. In good news for C9, Usher's not getting out of control. He is free farming, but last time we saw his Jug, he already had like 2-3 kills at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to kill a bat who's not there. So I think it's the right idea for him to leave the lane. And let's check Bone 7's Blink Dagger status. Still 500 gold away. And nighttime's almost over, so I would say that's a victory for C9. TC only 2-1. Well, actually, technically maybe not. There is a smoke. Fluff and TC headed up towards the top lane trying to kill Big Daddy. He is so close to level 6.
Darkness used, and Big Daddy just hanging out near the tower. He hasn't backed all the way off behind the tree line just yet. If this smoke breaks, TC may just bum rush it. They're actually going to get eyes on Eternal Envy. I think they saw this rotation. Nope, Fluff backing off at that exact moment.
That's not what they were looking for.
Quite a bit of wasted time there. He's actually going to morph. He's going for a body block here. They send in an Ice Blast, which connects on Fluff. He just wants to move these wolves a bit faster in, but Night Stalker's waiting, going for the body block, gets off the Void, and uses the Crippling Fear, but no miss. Has that slight mischance, but didn't get the dice roll. And that's the end of your Witch Doctor.
That was not the target that they wanted to go on. They saw him come up the hill.
They wanted that AA, not the Lycan. That was a pretty heads-up play by EE, though. Like, he started morphing, like, what was it, all the way back here. Ancient Apparition's here. Still manages to body block and get the kill.
Let's see if they can get a kill on Fada.
Do have the silence. Omni Slash used. Very nice combination there. It used to be a long time ago that Fear wouldn't even silence at all during the daytime, but that was changed. Very good for the Night Stalker players, that's the case.
I wonder if he could escape from that. He ran away from the creeps, so that's an easy Omni Slash. But if he stays in the creeps, maybe he can stay alive for 3 seconds to get away. Questionable.
Yeah, maybe his teammates are able to rotate in and make something out of it.
At least Omni is down. At the very least.
Yeah. They did have to blow a pretty decent cooldown there. Ush will go for the same build that we keep on seeing from him. So he gets the treads, he goes for Mask of Madness, he always tries to take Roche early. And that will be a point of contest for both teams. Is obviously with the Lycan, that's something that, and Eternal Envy playing it of all people, will have his eyes set on it.
So Bone 7, they saw Witch Doctor go in. I don't actually know if they think that Witch Doctor was scouting or whether he was trying to assist the Jug.
Bone is chasing. He went for the BOTs though. Pretty standard for Bone 7, but obviously there would have been a kill with a blink. Still,
it's really nice with the wolves.
They're already going for Roche. Ush doesn't have Omni for 50. And he's getting quite a bit of backup. Bone 7 perched on the high ground. It's daytime as well. In fact, the middle of the day.
The Roshians have been so crucial in these matchups too.
Trying to dive TC. Orb doesn't connect. That would be a pretty long dive. Doom comes in from the back though. Fada gonna start taking damage. Mike needs more help to get this kill. It doesn't look like he gets it alone. Darkness used. Kind of a late darkness from TC. And Ush working on the tower. Misery going for the TP out. He's going to get out too. Roche about to fall here. Eternal Envy should be collecting his Aegis. The tier 1 not even taken yet. Big victory for Cloud9. TC will move into the pit. Now the Wolf transforming. He tries to run his way out. He's managed to get off the shapeshift and doesn't seem like anyone else is going to be able to turn this. In fact, now they go in. The Fissure's there from Fog. The Void not being able to get it off as TC was silenced. He hesitated for just a split second. Flame broken backwards. Not finished off. Then the Omni Slash assassinates your Bat Rider. Ush having had time for that to cool down. Fire do give up an Aegis. They don't take the tier 1, but they force out a Glyph, and they manage to get that Bat Rider kill.
They were so close to killing EE there. That would have been very nice for them. And they can smoke and hunt him down, especially with nighttime coming up in just 30 seconds time. But now Aegis will pretty much last the whole duration of nighttime. And that just leaves C9 a very good opportunity to farm up their Blink Daggers on Puck, as well as the Bat Rider, and of course secure EE's farm in the jungle. And AA has a Midas too. Man, where did that farm come in?
1, 1, and 2. I guess they got Roche Gold and a tower. Still, CS-wise, 40 CS. He has been sitting top. That's actually a ton. He was sitting top earlier in farming. I did not quite realize he'd been there that long.
I mean, he has just as much CS as the NS.
That is always the one issue with running the NS is we've seen Demon go for Midas on this hero when he's playing in Korea. And one of the reasons is just that Night Stalker tends not to farm much. Kind of like a Slardar, because he's always off ganking. But TC not going that route. He gets his Morbid Mass. You think a Vlad's is incoming?
Well, you can go
Dominator?
HOD tank too. Or Armlet.
They still have pretty good late game in their own right. They get the IX Mike Midas. They have a Jug who's farming very quickly. Leader in net worth, even above the Lycan who took Roche.
Yep, it looks like a Vlad's. It's nice for the sustain. You need some sort of sustain so you can farm neutrals when the other team's playing passively. If not, then when you farm neutrals, you'll be low, and you have a much higher chance of dying when you're ganking, and you absolutely cannot afford to let that happen.
Oh, this is what they are waiting for. It's Fog to show his head in this bottom lane. They know he likes to get the blink around this time. Oh, 7 gets close. Fissure's there from Fogged. That's going to allow him to disengage. Almost got in striking distance. But not quite. Not quite close enough. Fog continues to not get caught out. 0-1-1, but the one death was a noble sacrifice for the team in terms of the results it got.
They haven't been able to use that Finger of Death yet, either on Misery.
Yeah,
They need it.
Earlier today, Misery was just, every time he had a spell like Finger around, he'd just run around, get a kill with it.
It's hard during nighttime.
Looking for Fog, but just dances away.
The AA ult narrowly missed.
Mike has Doom up, and he almost runs into EE. Granted has the Aegis.
It's
Mike
his
doesn't actually see him.
his smoke is so close to popping.
Neither player's going to see each other.
This is awkward.
This is very awkward.
Is under attack.
EE is just going to walk to the left. The pings come out. Now they spotted him. But they get the
Dyer's
tower.
middle
Radiant
tower
taking the
has
tier 1
fallen.
mid. Bottom lane Fog still just waiting here in the trees. Or next to the trees. Chasing onto Eternal Envy. Still farming Big Daddy. He's got 1900 gold. 57 CS already. They never end up getting Fog. But they do find IX Mike. Way behind enemy lines. Still doesn't get to use the Finger though.
That was so unfortunate for him that his smoke didn't pop when EE was there.
It was so close. He's like right here, right here.
Yeah, they're probably like 1100 range away from each other.
Sometimes you just don't get the dice rolling your way.
But he really wants Cloud9 to lose.
He really does. Maybe that's why they'll end up winning. The Dota gods hating on Mike. I feel like he's probably got some bad karma coming his way with all the flaming, you know? If there
And
is,
Cloud9
if
doesn't
there is
have bad karma either.
That's true. They
Come-
both
they
teams have bad karma.
Yeah,
Who
I
has
guess
more?
so it's all based on skill.
As it should be. 1-7 trying to do his usual thing where he just steals the enemy's economy, saps their neutrals, but Fog is only going to get one. Still limits the damage. Jump on the Fada mid lane. Void comes out. He tried to TP at exactly that moment, and it's going to cost him his life. Another death for your puck right as he's closing on the blink. Fada just getting shut down. They are investing a lot in it, but they're keeping him down.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't go for Midas too.
The puck?
Yeah, it's just the way the game's going. They're just not fighting the Night Stalker during night. And if it's going to be a farm war, you might as well get a Midas. You have one on your Ancient Apparition. You would have one on your puck. And they don't really want to take a fight into the Lycan Aegis. So
I thought Ush was going to go top.
there's the blink on ES. Wait, he sold it. Maybe he wants to pick it up at the side shop.
Yeah, Courier's on its way back to base, so would take a bit longer than he'd like to grab that. Ush gets scouted though. This is what he was doing in the match yesterday. He'd constantly they dropped a ward over here, I remember, but in general he's just in this area. If you're running a jungling carry, safe lane carry, that's where he tends to be.
I don't think he can kill Lycan. I don't think he can kill Puck either. And Bat's really difficult to find.
So Misery did finally get to use his Finger. Jumped in bottom, killed off the Witch Doctor. Uh-oh. Bone 7. He gets silenced here. Can't Firefly his way out. Earns there. A couple auto attacks close, but not enough.
Is under attack.
That was very close.
One level and level death would have killed him there. Thanks, Mike, with the greed build.
Was he in range? I guess he was like right
He
on
was really close.
Yeah. If it does go later, though, you love having the Doom with the Midas, Max Devour, and having a massive stack of items. I feel like Cloud9 is... I guess that's what they're worried if this goes late against the Doom. They don't just want the one carry in the Lycan, so... The Midas definitely makes sense in that from that point of view. Big Daddy picking it up. The Bat Rider going for the BOTs will help him keep his own farm. Maybe Misery even gets a Midas too. Though he's pretty close to a blink if he wants that.
Yeah, so 1 blink there on ES, 1 blink on Puck. A blink coming out. Oh, lasso up on bottom lane. IX Mike just casually walking away.
And this is going to open them up to jump on Big Daddy as well. Fog leaps in, gets off the cast, the follow-up enchant totem, finished by TC. Now Eternal Envy forced to run. There is an Omni Slash, but the Wolves are next to him. He gets the longest leap of your life, and because the Wolves are at Viz, they doesn't actually bounce to them, but doesn't do quite enough for the kill. Did you see the range?
That was
terrifying.
Way longer than the normal cast range.
That was really scary.
Well,
But
luckily he has
not
the
quite
medallion armor and the Vlad's armor.
That's true. Yeah, with the Mask of Madness, your effective damage in that Omni Slash goes up so much, but a little too much armor on the Lycan for now. Still showing you that Jug can deal with that hero pretty well in theory.
Visibility.
If he stays up in farm, which for now still continues to be your leader in net worth. Ush gonna complete his Manta style next. Will be great against this Puck silence, just for the general utility a Manta provides. At the same time, Misery will take a tier 1 bottom. Easily claimed, no contest. Keeps on pushing. I mean, why the hell not?
If not Bone 7, then Misery should be doing it. And he's really close to his Blink Dagger.
Fogs, his Eternal Envy. They don't have anyone else nearby though.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He's gonna walk back towards mid. Fogged is there to greet him. Does not want to body block him.
Is under attack.
He is about to get near this tower now. Roche is gonna respawn in like 2 minutes, but in theory it could be up right about now. Big Daddy's jungling and they're setting the trap. Blink in, initiation from Ike's Bike, gets off the Doom, and then they all turn and run. The Wolf's transforming, Blade Fury from Ush, TP out for him. IX Mike scattering to the left. He's the one who gets caught out. Another death for Mike. The Wolf transform was used to make this happen. Are they still going on mid? Oh, they're thinking about it.
Radiant's bottom tower.
C9 looking for more after that transform.
So aggressive during the daytime. And Cloud9 is more than willing to fight during the daytime. Especially when EE's ultimate is up. And checking the Roshan spawn. They don't know that it's not up yet. But they might as well with the Doom down. Doom hero and the Doom spell.
Yeah, again with the Roche timing, just not quite being ideal for Cloud9. Not having the best luck in that deployment.
So let's see if they're able to scout.
Uh-oh, EE caught out here, the enchant totem off the mark, but they still get the jump in. Echo Slam secures it. Caught farming the enemy woods and heavily punished. Big kill there.
That's maybe where Darkness comes in. I think he might have been able to scout it out with his wolves had there not been a nighttime used.
And he's been very good about scouting with them. He saw Ush just hanging out top lane, trying to sneak up on him for an Omni Slash. He's pretty diligent about keeping the Wolves move here on the map. Ush will, having completed Manstone now, head towards top. Still about neck and neck with the Lycan, but it's a pretty close game here. Net worth, dead even. Experience only 1,000 in disparity. What's your overall big picture take on this game, Ben? It looks even numbers-wise.
Roshan. It's all about that.
Do you favor either team if there's no huge victor after the Roshan fights? You think it's pretty even?
I think if, let's just say Roshan's taken out of the equation, I think I like Fire's lineup a little bit more, just because Lycan's going to struggle to deal with the Juggernaut later. And, I mean, on top of that, he has to worry about the ES and the Doom and potentially the Witch Doctor ultimate. There's a lot of things, whereas, like, Fire, as long as they get an Omni Slash off, Jug has pretty much done his job. And then if he spins right after, he's pretty safe. Granted, I guess Lycan...
Bottom lane. Big leap in onto Ush. He doesn't have his ultimate. Has the Blade Fury. He's going to Manta, start Blade Fury, and his way right out of the Dream Coil. And now the chase is on. TC has a fresh, shiny BKB picked up. If he gets off the silence, that'll be his death. But they can't quite do it. IX Mike goes directly into the pit now. And with the lasso down, they may want to make their move, but a bit low on the mana on Ush. Can they give him some bottle charges, anything? It's not going to have Omni Slash as they go into the pit. Well, might just have that, but that's going to be about it. And in the meantime, the creeps take a tower mid. Fire have not been able to defend their towers. Like, Lion solo pushed the tower bottom. And then the creep's taking out the tower mid. So.
I mean, look at where Bone 7 is. He's still just playing super cheekily.
As soon as they just even start to leave that lane, he's immediately off. Split pushing it and trying to punish them, draw them back. Jug Illusions begin their siege on this bottom tier 1. Moving through the Radiant jungle is Fluff. Fire with the Night Stalker BKB. He's going to be tough to deal with. They do have a lasso to try and control him.
And Lycan damage.
Yeah. Who's like your ideal lasso target this game? Do you think?
Probably
ES
Earthshaker.
Okay.
And then try and get a Hex on the Jug. Because Jug doesn't have a Blink Dagger.
They're going to go for it. Fire into the pit. Bone 7 has Firefly. They are taking a big risk right now. Dropping down the ward. Fluff there to heal everyone up. Cloud9. This happened to them earlier in the series. They got totally caught off guard by Erosion. It's going to happen again. Fire take it for free. Aegis snagged by Ush. They all get out cleanly. No trades. Just farm. A big loss here for Cloud9 once again, and Fog now looking to find a little more. I think he even knows Fod is in the area. Gets off the enchant tome. Nope, managed to phase shift it. Still pursuing him out a bit. Fissure's going to connect. He can't blink in to follow this up with an Echo now. Fog actually gets coiled. The coil breaks. Puck off to the right, trying to leap out, and barely escapes. Being hounded to the ends of the earth.
They have a Scepter to AA ultimate right now, but it doesn't really feel like they have enough damage to actually bring people into the shatter range. And I also think that Lycan should have had his wolf in there, because that happened to him last game. They can't just let him get a free Roshan. They're using the smokes, but it's totally worth it.
It's funny because it's normally how Cloud9 pulls ahead in a lot of games. TC gets lasso now. Fog there to greet them though with a quick defensive fissure. Still TC about to fall. Can't get off his BKB. Ush in. He gets off the Omni Slash. They all manage to get away. Witch Doctor Ult being channeled during this time just destroys Eternal Envy. He got doomed it looks like, and then just chain stunned perhaps by the cask. So they get the Lycan kill. The Necro 3 still fighting from allowing Lycan to engage from beyond the grave. As Fog runs, he's got a blink. He blinks out. He'll TP out if he wants. Surprisingly, he's not yet. And that may cost him. He goes for the TP out now. No coil. He'll be okay.
And that's huge. I think he had a lot of lucky cask bounces on the Lycan, because he was just sitting there channeling his ult and not taking any damage, even with a Lycan right on top of him.
Yeah, I was watching Ush get the kill to the north, but I just heard the ult going off for like 3-4 seconds, so it must have been close to a full duration channel.
Earthshaker was also there protecting the ward too. He was sitting right on top of the Witch Doctor to contribute to the chain stun onto EE.
Getting that counter-initiating fissure off, just allowing the team to kind of follow up on the lasso. Fog just continues to be in the right place for his team.
And with EE dying right there, it sets a really bad tone for the rest of the game, just because they don't really have that much damage. Lycan doesn't have a BKB. Even if he does, he gets Omni Slash or potentially just stun lock from 100 to 0 on the back of Earthshaker. And TC is there up in front with a BKB as well as a large amount of HP in order to soak up the majority of the damage from Cloud9, including the lasso and hopefully the AA ultimate.
Look
in
who
his
it is
mind.
again. Just rumbling around with an invis. Yeah, it does set a really bad precedent though. Well, Mike maybe looking to give Cloud9 a better precedent. He gets focused out here, silence for a while. He will have the Doom online, but shattered quickly. Witch Doctor ult channeled by Fluff. He's going to have to back out. Reinforcements are coming in. He'll stand his ground and, I guess, accept his fate. 2 freebies offered up now for Cloud9.
Doom needs BKB. I don't actually know why he's going for a Scepter. They have like almost nothing on BKB.
It's why the Night Stalker is so fearsome, although he hasn't actually used it yet. But if he BKBs, all they can do is lasso and right click. And that's a long time to be focusing on either of those tanks. I imagine we'll see him go for it next. So what do you think for Ush here? He's getting another ultimate orb. Is Lincoln Sphere, Scotty? What's your poison here?
Scotty's been a very popular choice in Juggernaut.
You can apply the attack speed slow while you're Omni Slashing, I guess.
But it's not useful versus Jug or versus Lycan, I'd say.
Yeah.
Lincoln's is meh, I'd say. I don't know what would be better though. I mean, Scotty's just a nice HP buffer so that you don't just drop in a finger. or a lasso, or a waning rift, or lichen burst. I mean, it's a safe build.
It gives you a bit of everything. You get some damage, some just additional armor, attack speed, HP, just a little bit of everything. So it's kind of like if you don't know what you want, you can just get a Scotty.
Blinkets is also a viable choice though, if he is scared about the lasso, but I don't actually think he needs to be scared of the lasso.
Or even the Blink Hex, to some extent.
Yeah.
Though Scotty may help him deal with either of those.
They have Shaker for Blink Hex though. Shaker is their trump card when it comes to these fights.
Let's see if Fog can keep it up. He is right behind them, in position to try and hold this. And they'll put Ush in front. The Siege Engine gets to work on this Tier 1. They do Ice Blast. Oh, Manta. Ush will take down this Tier 1. It looks like they're going to be too slow to get in range of it. Now, do they go Tier 2? If they do, Envy will trade. They also may get caught out by the lasso, but Envy, seeing that they're backing, is also playing it safe. And good news for Cloud9, they managed to wait out the Aegis. That Aegis didn't do too much more, just slow down what Cloud9 was able to accomplish on the map, but it's finally over now. The suffering can end. Jug will pick up an Eye of Scotty. It is the choice now made clear by Ush. Very tanky. Although he does have the Mask of Madness, which can help kind of make up for that. Here comes the smoke by Bun7. Walks into TC. BKBs instantly. Now wants to turn around. That was his 10-second BKB down. But it does keep him alive. Still a pretty decent outcome for a smoke gank.
Wonder what Ush goes for next. Butterfly is pretty nice. Scepter, not so great because the fights are so few and far between.
Yeah, Butterfly sounds really nice against the Lycan. He already has a lot of HP to just handle the nuke first. It also gives you a lot of effective DPS with Omni Slash. All the extra attacks. And the other thing with this Lycan is generally kind of slot limited, right? Like he gets 6 slotted really quickly, you can replace some of his cheaper items, but Envy can get creative with his items at the same time. We saw his Void the other day, just skip boots, give himself a little bit extra to work with as a result. And did pay off. I guess with Lycan you don't really need your boots, so it's still a long way off before those types of items really come up.
Yes, but you can't ever get to that point where you can man-fight the Juggernaut. I guess maybe with Abyssal and AC, or you have enough attack speed to constantly bash him, but Juggernaut can also just get an Abyssal too and just destroy the Lycan. So I'm dubious as to Lycan's carry potential relative to the Juggernaut coming into the late game. He's slightly ahead on net worth, but I think even if he were slightly lower, he'd probably still be in a really good spot, especially with Echo Slam able to clear all the Necro books. And I don't know if it's enough damage to clear the Wolves, but most likely yes.
And that's a lot of Envy's right click as well. Maybe later on it'll be mostly the main hero, but you take those out of the picture and he's not nearly as scary. Both teams playing this one very close to the vest. It's been a quiet game. Net worth has never gone beyond 1,500 in either team's favor. Experience never more than 3,000 apart. Fitting that such a close series comes down to a close outcome and a close final game.
Is it going to be close, though? I sense a Scepter and a Gem coming out for TCs. And that just really limits anywhere that they can farm.
That's true. That's the one thing with Night Stalker that we have not seen in a long time. Is just the it's like it used to be Bat would kind of fill that role, but the global map.
Look at that vision.
The global map pack is now online.
That vision is ridiculous.
Now we're gonna get Big Daddy here. Quick jump in. He's thrown an Ice Blast out, but he'll be doomed. Pounced on and dealt with. And now they Darkness in. Misery blinking out. Bone7 TP now. Jug on the way.
Oh, they see Misery.
Fire just want to like face rush. It feels like
they should. It's nighttime. They have night up, darkness up.
Jug, Doom,
Earthshaker.
Terrifying heroes to get jumped by, really. You can just see that like TC is just literally strutting around the map. That is a very confident posture he's taken.
And if Lycan can't split push, he can't do Roshan, he can't man fight. What
can he do? I don't
farm
know.
with his wolves, I guess.
bait people with Necro Ball.
I mean, there's potential for sick plays, though, to like split up his minions. So
Fight's going to break out now. The Night Stalker's a bit far out of the way. Fog gets caught out, and then Ush is going to get pulled in. He doesn't end up getting off Omni. There's a nice pick off for Cloud9. Mike on the run. He's going to devour a creep, continue retreating out, but they chase him forward. Your Night Stalker unable to do much now. It's a minute of daytime before he has nighttime again, and this means a third hero goes down. Ix Mike also caught out, and they might even get Fog. Blink and Force online. Misery has the Blink Hex in 4. He'll blink to the left. He makes it out. That's a freebie road for Cloud9.
Shaker wasn't there to break the fight up. Or I actually don't know where Shaker was, but he's been
like over here when the fight started.
They didn't stop the Hex Zerg on the Juggernaut. He got Hex, he got lassoed, and then he died. And he needs to be able to boom pop Manta for that half second that he needs to cast his Omni Slash and then spin away, drop Healing Ward, come back into the fight. And none of that was possible without Fog. I mean, maybe they're a little bit too dependent on him.
The other thing was TC was just in like the worst possible position when that fight broke out. He's across the river, is about to be daytime, and he's possibly the hero you want in the middle of the fight the most. Super tanky, provides his team a lot of benefits with the Vlads, with 4 melee heroes, 3 of which right-click hard, and unfortunately it was a great jump by Cloud9. And Bone 7 had a really good lasso there to boot.
I think it was Misery with the Hex, though.
Yeah, that's true. Both of them
so important.
Yeah. Really nice initiation.
That will be Ush's first death of the game, and yeah, not too much blood spilled. 24 kills, 34 minutes, and unfortunately, I think the Ages only buy C9 some more time. I think the issue of potentially not being able to disable Jug until he gets off his Omni Slash is still a very real threat, and with the Ags up on the Night Stalker, they shouldn't be able to get the jump on Fire at all. That is, I think, the greatest strength of the hero.
The one thing, though, is you don't get that, like, really long cycle of nighttime anymore like you used to. I haven't really gotten to see the hero too much in play, but, you know, like, when you get the level 3 ult in the old patch, it's, what, like, 9+ minutes where it's just always night?
Yeah, but now you get 50 seconds uptime with 30 seconds downtime every darkness. So, I mean, that's a very small window for C9 to work with. And that's only during the daytime that they can really get away with a good fight. And even then, you're only on equal vision.
It's I guess the main issue then is the Night Stalker doesn't really do too much for his team.
Well, he needs to scout, he needs to tank, and he has been doing it every fight up until that one.
Yeah. Shouldn't get caught out.
He's the one who should get lassoed. He's the one that needs to take the AA ultimate. He's the one that should be getting blink hexed. And if not, they jump on the supports before they cast their
I guess
spells.
then it just comes down to Fire kind of following him more, or TC working better with his team, but it is only one bad fight for them. It's a 4,000 gold swing, but...
Do they see Misery? I think they do.
They do now. TC dealing with wolves. They don't really want to give away the fact that they have him until he's trapped in. Fissure came from Fog, but there was also an ambush waiting for him. And then Misery manages the great escape. He blinks to the south, will retreat out. So they fight this one without their Earthshaker and perhaps without Mike as well. He's very close to a BKB, fingered and brought down. Then they use the Juggernaut so he can't engage. Finally, the Omni Slash comes out, but it bounces just between a couple of creeps and heroes, gets nothing done. Omni Slash down, Jug forced to try and TP out. It's all coming apart. The wheels come off for Fire. They lose 4. No Omni.
What a bait.
A bait of a bait is what it turned into. Fire were trying to play dumb there, but Cloud9 did a better job of it. And again, the Earthshaker getting caught out first just sets a terrible tone for the fight.
They should have known. Like, so they had the wolves on them, and Cloud9 aren't idiots. So by that conclusion, you should be like, okay, why is he standing right there?
Just got impatient.
I guess they didn't suppose that they knew that Earthshaker was going to block him in, but that blink Yules, or that Yules blink rather, saving the fight.
Yeah, that was just a great play by Misery as well. It's one thing that they end up getting the Earthshaker, then he lives on top of it. Just really rubs salt in the wound.
Oh, and they grab Night Stalker's gem. I think that's an even bigger deal. Now EE can constantly scout out with the wolves, and their upper hand with superior vision has fallen apart.
They they won't have another gem for 6 minutes. That's a long time to go without confidence in where you're moving. And you can just tell by the way they're rotating now. Fire, a bit shaken after that last fight. 5 heroes all together heading top.
As well as Fog's been playing this series, unfortunately the last 2 fights have, I think, mostly been because of him. He had a nice block, but then he got caught out. Again, no echo to clear the
And it's more,
creeps.
the Earthshaker is more important than the Lion. Like, him getting caught just ruins everything for them.
Yes. And on top of that, the fight before where Jug got disabled from 100 to 0. He might need BKB.
Fog
Yeah.
or?
I think Fog.
Okay. No, he's not really been farming much lately.
Or just more use of smokes. I think they might have to use smokes just to set up good fights.
Cloud9 taking this one down to the wire at 38 minutes. They've extended their lead to about 9-10k. And Fire just struggling to find that momentum they had earlier. They were in such a good rhythm, but Cloud9 has ripped it all away from them. Dealing with the illusion mid, pushing out the lanes. Next Roche in a couple of minutes. And there's your completed Assault Cross. Meanwhile, Bone 7's gone for a last one, Fog. He gets pulled out really far, 4-step back, BKB on Bone, as he's going to chase his way in. They even flame break him back. Fog caught out again. He's going to go down before getting anything done in the fight. And now it's up to TC to pop his own BKB and try to fight through this. Goes on to Fada. The Juggernaut of Ush gets picked off. He didn't even get to use his Omni Slash, and Fire, another terrible fight for them. Ix Mike run over. Fluff potentially done. He will get fingered. 4 dead. This might be too much.
How is Bone 7 getting all these jumps?
The BOTs, I guess.
Oh, the wolves.
The wolves and the BOTs.
Man, the loss of a gem was so big for them. They have to have the gem. Ags is not very strong without a gem on Night Stalker, and it looks like it's going to be
Especially versus the Lycan.
another 4 minutes. Yeah, the Lycan wolves has just been used masterfully, aside from the one Roche attempt that wasn't scouted out.
Cloud9 pushed through mid. Buyback status. There are 0 on the Radiant. Cloud9 closing in on yet another trip to a major event. They've barely missed any so far in the post-TI4 season. And they're looking for more with their new roster. TC trying to hang on mid while Envy forces the issue in the bottom lane. They still have no Doom or Jug for about 8 seconds. They do force out the Glyph though. Now Fog trying to punish the retreat. Gets the Fissure on Misery. But nobody else can really engage on top of this. And so when the dust settles, their base is now one bad fight away from being blown up. Roche is coming soon with full map control going Cloud9's way. Fire are officially in a pickle.
They still have all their racks up. It's still not a lost fight. They just have to protect the Earthshaker a little bit better. Or Fog has to hide a little bit better. Regardless, he has to stay alive until at least he gets off an Echo on a couple heroes or Necro units plus Wolves and Lycan. Because Lycan did not have a BKB for a very long time, and now that he does, it is immensely difficult to bring him down.
And the AC.
Oh, here they go again. The Wolves! The Wolf Scouts!
They get the jump on Ush. BKB was used by TC, so at least he's not stunned. Ush held in place. Your Juggernaut annihilated again. It's a good Witch Doctor ult at least. Bringing Big Daddy low. They'll finish off the Ancient Apparition, it looks like, but they lose their Doom. Fada was doomed as well, and he'll tick down. And actually, a nice dunk comes out from Fog, ending the Lion, but still Bat Rider as well as Lycan running roughshod over them, chasing down Fog. This is going to be the 4th death of the fight. Another 4-hero beatdown from Cloud9. It's still EE, yet to even take a scratch in the last 10-15 minutes.
And now you might consider getting the Lincolns on the Juggernaut over the Scotty. Before we were like, nah, he doesn't need it. But every single one of these fights, he gets hexed.
And they actually just lost another gem. Oh no, that's their own gem. Never mind.
So, I mean, at this point, Jug has just been... he got a BKB for crying out loud to try and prevent this sort of initiate.
He was owning so hard. But Cloud9 just getting those miraculous jumps. He's going to morph. He walks in. He wants the melee Rex bottom. Fog getting clipped by Wolves. Now lassoed in his efforts to defend this. That's a death for the Earthshaker. Oh, a big overextension there. But Rex do stand for now.
And Roshan is up again.
And they're in position to
That was 30-second Roshan respawn, I believe. And okay, are they going to get another gem? I mean, the number of times that this Wolves has just straight won the fight for them is actually ridiculous. The supports have to buy sentries. Woodchucker, no sentries on him. Earthshaker, also no sentries on him. It's all a vision thing.
Can they buy another gem? They're going to be able to buy one in 30 seconds, so I guess that's the other option here.
But now, I mean, the timing has pretty much been lost. Now it's another 3 minutes left on daytime. EE is going to get another Aegis, and on top of that, they have a cheese for Misery. And Misery has a Shadow Blade too, to initiate, because they don't have a gem.
Well, they see this one, they're probably gonna have to buy one, but even then, they lose the next gem, they're completely helpless.
They also have no force staffs aside from Shaker, but Shaker can't really afford to be up that close.
He's the one always getting caught, so that doesn't really help them either.
It's either him or Jug, and neither of them can save each other, it seems.
Well, Fire can't find a way to protect each other. They're gonna die just short of the finish line.
They're pretty much just one fight away from losing everything in their base.
Darkness popped. Misery just lurking in the trees. They want to bait him here with the smoke. IX Mike blinks in. He does get off the Doom of Misery. Should be able to run him down. They fissure to follow this up. BKB even committed for that. That's your 9-second charge. Finally something. The Lion was not carrying one of those delicious gems, so it'll be up to TC to buy one. Are they going to go into Roche? No, never mind. Roche was already taken.
Looks like Bone 7's the only one with the delicious gem.
Haste. I think... delicious. They have an extra one in the fountain, though.
And Wolf's still scouting out.
Who got the gem? Oh, it is TC who's sitting on it.
Kill the Wolfies.
Wolves winning games. So it seems. Fire not ready to give up just yet, though. They'll have a big shot here to make something happen as Ush runs in with his haste rune. Your Puck already on the blink out. But I do have to point out, Eternal Envy has the Abyssal Blade now. He is getting to that point where you don't get like a Doom and an Omni Slash on him. He could just solo your entire team. Ush pushing in. He's going to work down the tier 2. Nothing really gained thus far by Cloud9. Just pushing out the top lane in the meantime. They may sack this. Ush does get lassoed again. Caught out by the BKB. Fingered as well. Can they save him? They force Steph him up. He's dead again. The Juggernaut just keeps on getting picked. A nice defensive fissure. Not good enough, though. As Cloud9, it's just friggin' Bone 7 every time with the jumps. Getting either the Jug or the Earthshaker, and the fights just crumble from there. Your 5th 4-man beatdown.
That was Fada. Fada made a big play there. What he did was he shot an orb down the tree line over here on the right to get out the Shaker, and the Shaker blinked out because he was afraid of getting caught out again. And then as soon as he blinked, they're like, okay, let's go on Jug. And without the blink echo to counter initiate, actually it doesn't even matter now because Batarang has BKB.
Yeah.
And
Refresher soon.
Ush has just not been playing super carefully, not preemptively popping BKB. He hasn't even used it once, not using his Manta style, not dropping a preemptive healing ward, although that wouldn't have helped versus the A ultimate. And they've just been very good at chaining all the stuns on him. It's like a Hex into a Lasso, into an Abyssal, into an Impale. Like it's just too much.
This might be the end. They take the bottom lane of Rax. There are still 15 seconds before that Shaker's up. EE wants to make it 2 lanes of Rax, and with that, chances of a comeback get very slim. Cloud9 win this game, they will go to the LAN finals. They don't actually get the second full lane of Rax. The only piece of good news for Fire is that they at least held on to the gem for TC, but it's just at that point now where the map control you can hope to gain from it is just totally gone. Cloud9 have all the lanes pushed out. They have the Rax advantage. And they're really not afraid anyway.
Yeah, Jug's build, it was good. Mask of Madness Manta, in theory, I thought the Skydie was going to work out, but it has just completely backfired on him. I mean...
It feels like the build could work if everything else was in place, though.
Yeah. I still think Lincoln's would have been okay. It just depends on his reaction time, too. Can he spin or Manta before a Blink Force Lasso? Most likely, yes. I think most professional players do have that sort of reaction time, but at the same time, if he doesn't, then that build's useless too. And he just has to play passively, but there's no other way they can initiate the fights because TC is too weak to beat on towers themselves. He doesn't pose enough of a threat for Cloud9 to jump on him instead.
And once again, the Wolves scouting, running right into Fluff. They'll get vision on it now and devour it. But they've been the real MVP of this game.
Yep, they have been.
EE now, what was once an even gold game between him and the Jug is now a 9,000 gold lead. 1.5 items ahead with 3.6k in the bank.
The Lion Shadowblade is really smart though because Night Stalker's nighttime vision and his gem vision aren't the same. So Night Stalker can potentially think the area is clear of any initiators, but there will actually be a Lion just lurking right outside of his vision.
He's going to get to close the gap here, and just when he's about to get in range of Mike. Blinks out. Yeah, that is a pretty cool interaction. Do you know how much of a difference it is?
I don't know. I think it's around 1,000. I can double check.
Okay.
Or it's 1,000 range for gem. But nighttime vision is 1,800.
A prize.
That's a pretty big difference, actually.
It might be a little bit longer. Radius is 1,100, so you have a 700 radius. That's
still really big.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Night Stalker's nighttime is 1,800. It should be.
Ush goes now for a Blink Dagger. But it's been a long time since he's gotten the jump on anyone.
Yeah, he has 1,800 at night, so
okay,
that's
so
a pretty
it's a
big
700 difference in radius.
And yeah, it's just over and over again. They just constantly jump the Juggernaut. And at this point, I mean, it has to be either the Doom or the Night Stalker that go up first.
BKB on Mike very early. Now he leaps into the middle of the fray, but doesn't manage to get anyone. Doom's Eternal Envy, but it's after he's managed to shapeshift. He's still brought out of the fight at the very least. Your Juggernaut Omni Slash getting nothing accomplished. That's off the table. Now the last one to TC. His BKB's down. That's the Gem Carrier off the board as well, but I don't know if they need the detection anymore. Ush getting charged back onto Fluff. Unable to get off a good ultimate. EE. He charges in again. Ush is going to end up surviving for now. Bone 7 finish off one, and Eternal Envy. He's already back in the woods healing up. He's going to come back in mid soon, it looks like. Night Stalker does have a buyback available. It is darkness time if he wants to use it. It's just hanging by a thread now for Fire. It might even just be too late. Envy now. He's gotten an okay amount of HP back. Not great. Still reluctant to go in too far, but Mike gets caught. Mike gets blown up, finished, and Fire are just falling apart. Fog trapped out one by one. They all fall down. Nobody able to hold the line. Ush going to be next here. It looks like GG. They were so close. They had this game by the throat, and they let it slip away. Cloud9 outplaying them with the constant VAT ganks. Really great movement, and showing why they are, for now, the more consistent and established team. But Fire still showcasing a lot of potential. And hopefully we'll see more of this team in the weeks and months to come.
The Night Stalker pick, I thought it was going to work out for them too. In theory, it was like, oh man, they're going to own. They're never going to have vision. They're always going to get the jump. But that actually never happened. Cloud9, always a step ahead. Very well played. Congratulations to Cloud9.
They're going to China. They were one of the only consistently performing teams, if not the only, that was overlooked in the invitations. And they had to fight the hard way through the America qualifiers. Some thought it would be an easy run. It was not. Going into this game, it looked like it would be, but Fire forced the game 5, can't close them out. And with that said, guys, we will wrap up what has been, I think, a 9-hour broadcast here, Ben. It's been a pretty long day, but we conclude now. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations to Cloud9. They're going to China. They'll be competing for $1.4 million plus and rising. And unfortunately for Fire, they'll have to set their sights on other tournaments in the coming weeks and months. With that said, guys, be sure to follow Merlini at Merlini Dota if you enjoyed his casting. You can follow myself as well at LD Dota. You can also check out all the YouTube VODs. They will be up at youtube.com/BeyondTheSummit.tv. And with all that out of the way, thank you for watching the Dota 2 Asia Championships. The America qualifier is over, but in 2 days' time, the European qualifier begins, and we start getting underway with Asia as well. So with that said, we wish you a good night, good morning, whatever the case may be, and we'll sign off now. LD and Merlini, we'll see you later.